Good morning, everyone. Thanks for hopping in again with me and Spike on another easy camping adventure. It's mid-October and it's autumn. The colors are out and I'm heading up to do some kayaking on Baker Lake, which is a lake in north central Cascades of Washington State. Most of the campgrounds up there are closed, but I know of a spot. We're going to sneak in there, set up camp, and spend 2 nights. And the entire point of this trip is just kayaking. Been a while since I've done that. So I set up camp, made and ate dinner, and waited for the morning. It's been a while, but this is an excellent spot to start again. There's Mt Shuksan. Boy, it feels good to be back here on Baker Lake. When I bought this kayak, this is my first kayak, the only kayak I've ever owned. All my kayaking experience, therefore, is in this kayak. But when I first bought this kayak, I came here to Baker Lake and I put it on this lake. This is where I found out that, well, that I had a lot to learn. That's what I found out. I was so scared. I was sure the thing was just going to tip over. Well, I'm just passing over these big stumps. Man, this is cool. There's stumps about a foot below the surface. When I first started kayaking, I would be super terrified that I'd hit one of those and it would knock me over. What a beautiful morning. I'm hoping that as we get close to the shade over here, there'll be some mist on the water. You know, nothing makes a fish bigger than almost getting caught. Another thing that makes a fish pretty big is when it jumps beside you and you see the splash. That was a big fish that just jumped out of the water here beside me. Wow, this is really something. I'm actually getting pretty close to my destination. Maybe a mile at the most. I'm making pretty good time. I didn't expect that. I could have done this last night too, I just wasn't sure. Wow, the fall colors are really nice. Now I know if you're from Vermont or someplace back east, you're probably thinking, oh, those aren't very good fall colors. You just want to poo-poo those, but you go ahead and do that. I think they're just spectacular. What a beautiful place. What a spectacular setting. What an awesome day. I admit, not as good as places in the Ozarks or whatever, but if I ever go there, I'll enjoy them. I'm enjoying this now. Uh-oh. Shallow. Made it through. All right. I'll put a line right here. Oh, that sounded good. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna drink of water. I think I got a snack back here, and there we go. There we go. I got a chair in this backpack. I'm gonna set it up. Ah. This is awesome. Well, this has been awesome. It's almost 11 a.m. or actually a little after 11 a.m. and I've had the whole lake to myself all morning. There's plenty of other people out. There's some boaters on the other side of the lake there at a campsite. I was going to bring my lunch, but everything gets really warm in that hole. I can't keep anything cool. So I'll go back and have lunch, and then I'll probably paddle up to the north end of the lake. I've never paddled up there, so that'll be fun. I'll have all afternoon for that. Oops. Away we go. Easier on the hole if it's a sandy bottom, but you take what you get. And if you notice how the water is green, that's because of those glaciers up there on Mt Baker and Shuksan and others. They grind the rocks into powder, and that powder, which geologists call glacial flour, turns the water green, like everything else in Washington State. It's all green. Drag my skeg. You can see how this eastern shore of Baker Lake has a lot of these stumps. They're the remains of trees that were cut down in the early 1920s when they built this reservoir, and I really like paddling through them. It's a very surreal experience looking down into the deep water at these stumps. I think that's my campsite right over there. Get my ass stood up. Hey Spike, for lunch I just have a salad down here somewhere. There it is. Heading north up the lake now. Got the sun at my back. I like paddling in this direction because it's not in my eyes. It also feels really good on my back. I don't think the water here is that deep. Every so often I can see a stump down there. I'm sure there's little fingers and channels. If I probably moved over there 100 yards to my right, probably be pretty deep. Looks like I can land up there maybe in all those maple trees. Then I'll have to have a snack and head back. Actually, I can see people on the shore up there, so I won't go there. Might be camped there. It looks like a good spot to camp. Oh, shallow logs. No problem. Look at this, a little island that looks rocky enough to land on. It's big. Where is it? Right there. Looks like I can come around on the other side of these stumps maybe. Put this up on shore a little bit. Boy, really sinking in these rocks. It's gravel. Okay, we are. Right in this stump field in the shadow of Mount Baker. And in the shadow of whatever mountain that is. Well, it's about 3:30. Took me over 2 hours to get here, and it'll be dark by 6:30, so I guess I better head back to camp. Gosh, I hate to leave. Look at the reflection of Mount Baker there in the water. Just gotta go there and around the corner and into camp. Well, I've crossed the lake now. I'm on the eastern shore. It looked really pretty when I was on the western shore. See if it looks that way up close. Looked really rocky, like cliffy. Definitely rocky. Very steep. I think the water must be pretty deep underneath me. This is probably where the main channel is, right at the foot of this hill, this mountainside. Oh, that's a nice rocky knoll. Be fun to hike to that. Have lunch on top. I think it's going to be a noisier campground tonight. Last night it was nice and quiet, but I think not tonight. Not exactly sure up there is my landing point. I think I'm going to spin around. Shadows are growing long. Perfect timing. I was about exhausted too. There we go. Got it pulled out of the water, dry docked, all cleaned up, everything put back in the bag, except for my shoes, which are wet. And I mostly have things picked up in here. But my stomach clock is going off and says it's time to eat. Tonight I'm going to have basically the same thing I did last night. The rest of this pasta, and I'm going to have an orange soda with it. Now, Normally whenever I'm out on one of these adventures, I don't preview any of the video I took. But I've been sitting in here reviewing the video that I took today because today was such an excellent day. I haven't had that much. Is it fun? Was it a thrill? Was it just a deep experience? I haven't had something like that for a long time. And I'm really lucky, you know, if you watch my YouTube channel, I actually get out and do lots of things, and I've been that way all my life. Today was a real gem. A real gem. Anyhow, I'll kick back for a while. Well, guess that's it. I'm all packed up and ready to go. A little bit of coffee left for the road. Another adventure comes to an end. I want to thank you for hanging out with me on another one. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, come back and join me on my next one too. Till then, you've been easy camping with Dan Dog and Spike.